Welcome to Sweet Soul Pilates. Please remember to engage your core, protect your spine, breathe, and be sweet to you. Today we have a 20-minute Express Full Body Mat Pilates class. When you're ready, let's come down to a seated position, sitting on your feet, and we'll raise our arms overhead and take some deep breaths. We'll do this 4 times. Again, bringing your arms up and down towards your waist. And now we'll come around to our hands and knees, and we're going to take some cat-cows as we continue stretching for preparation for today's class. So just a few cat-cows here, really opening up your chest and curving your spine. And this will be your last one. Let's drop down for a quick child's pose stretch. And then we'll come up onto our hands and knees, stepping 1 foot back at a time. And we're going to step into a high plank and then lift back towards our feet and come back down into a high plank. Let's keep up this sequence as our timer has begun. And please remember to inhale and exhale through the move. Inhaling to reset. And let's come up onto our hands and knees again. We'll be extending our left arm and our right leg. And we're going to lift and pull both in towards center, back to extending both, and pull back in towards center. Let's keep this up. Engaging your core as well. And breathing. And then we'll switch sides, extending the right arm and left leg. To do the same, we're going to lift both together and then pull both in towards our center, back to extension, and repeat. Feel free to point your toes or flex your feet. Nice and controlled. And now let's lean back onto our hands and arms for a moment for a quick back stretch. As we come back onto our hands and knees, we're just going to extend our right leg and then bring our leg back in and repeat. Very simple move here, but I want you to focus on the control, allowing your leg to hover over the mat as you bring it back down. Again, you're just extending that right leg. Engaging your core as if you're pulling your belly up towards your spine. And staying on this right leg, we're going to extend it again. We'll be taking some rainbow taps. So we're lifting and bringing our leg from one side of the mat to the other, creating an arch with our leg, tapping those toes down to the mat. You're still engaging your core here and allowing your breath to flow freely. And we're still working that right leg. We're going to extend it again, lifting up and then bringing our knee towards our right elbow. Back to extension, knee to elbow. Again, lots of control here, slow movements. Really giving the obliques a squeeze as you bring your knee to your elbow. And take a moment if you need to. We'll be taking everything to the other side, working that left leg. We'll start with those leg extensions, reaching our leg out, pulling it back in, allowing it to just hover over the mat. Again, simple move, slow and controlled. Engage in your core. And we'll allow our leg to rest for a moment. Feel free to rotate your wrist around. We're going to extend that left leg again for some rainbow taps, creating an arch with our leg, tapping our foot down to each side of the mat. If at any point your wrists start to bother you, a modified version of this is coming down onto one of your forearms and allowing your other hand to rest. Again, remember to inhale and exhale. And now we're still working that left leg. We're going to extend our left leg and then bring our left knee to our left elbow. Back to extension to repeat. And now we're going to come onto our left knee, extending the right leg, placing our hands behind our head, and we're going to bring one elbow down towards our waist and the other. So alternating sides, be sure that this is controlled. You're only moving your upper body, allowing your breath to flow freely. Tapping from waist to waist. And now we'll switch to the other leg, extending and bringing our hands behind our head. And we'll do the same. So alternating elbow to waist. Slow and controlled. And now we'll come down onto our left hip. We're going to extend our top leg. And we're just going to lift our leg up and down. Simple move, but be sure that this is slow and controlled, only coming up as high as you feel the hinge in your hips. For an extra challenge, you can allow your leg to slightly hover over the mat when you come back down, or just tap with your feet. And now we'll bend both of our legs. We're going to be taking some hip raises with a clamshell, so opening up that top leg as you raise your hips off the mat. And come back down to close and reset. And now we'll lay completely flat, extending both of our legs, resting on our arm. And we're going to lift our leg and just take some small leg circles in one direction, whichever way you choose, because we'll be switching to the other direction after this. Again, just small circles, allowing your upper body to relax, allowing your breath to flow freely. And in a moment here, we'll take those leg circles the other way. And let's begin. Again, small circles, resting and relaxing that upper body, only working the lower half. Feel free to bend your other leg if you need to. If not, you'll keep it extended. And now we'll lift ourselves up and switch over to our right hip. So starting with our legs bent, we're going to take those hip raises to clams first on this side. So we're raising our hips up as we open up that top leg and close to repeat. And now let's extend both of our legs, still laying flat here. And we're going to be taking those leg circles in the direction that we choose to start with. Let's begin. I'm giving everyone more reminders to breathe because it's very easy to hold our breath through different moves. So you're allowing your breath to flow freely, upper body is resting. I know those legs are burning, but we are almost done here. And let's take a little rest. In a moment here, we'll take those leg circles in the opposite direction that you started with. And let's go. Our timer starts now. . Let's go ahead and raise up onto our hands and knees. We'll be dropping down to our forearms, extending one leg at a time as we take a full plank. Really want to be sure to engage your core here. Again, that's as if you're pulling your belly up towards your spine. If you need to drop down to your knees at any point in time, please feel free. Allowing our breath to flow freely. Gaze is down towards the mat. Again, engaging that core. If you're shaking, that is a great sign. And now we'll press ourselves up for a cobra stretch and then come back into child's pose. And then we'll roll up and we'll swing ourselves around to a seated position with our legs slightly bent. We're going to lay flat with our upper body, bringing our arms overhead in a moment here. So let's bring those arms overhead, and we're just going to lift our shoulders slightly off the mat as we bring our arms down towards the mat, and repeat. Tucking your chin into your chest, again, lifting up as your arms come down with you. And now we'll bring our legs up to tabletop, one leg at a time, placing our hands behind our head. We're going to raise our feet up towards the sky. And our timer begins now. We're going to drop our legs halfway and lift back up. Again, just dropping halfway and lifting back up towards the sky. And let's hug our knees in, and then we'll drop our legs back down. We'll bring our legs up to tabletop one more time here. And then let's extend both of our legs and then lift them up towards the sky, and then drop back down to tabletop to extension. Repeat that lift up towards the sky. So a little bit of a combo move here. Again, tabletop to extension, lifting up towards the sky, back to tabletop, back to extension. And let's pull our knees in towards us and roll ourselves up like a ball. And then we'll come around to our hands and knees for a final child's pose stretch as we wrap up today's class. And let's roll ourselves up. And that is everything for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye.